episode 46. My name is Bearded Luke, and this is my beautiful co-host, Maddox. What's up, brother?
What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good, dude. I'm pumped for tonight. This is gonna be a fun episode, but life's good. We're somehow still making podcast episodes years later.
Episode 46 in totality of the Destiny Nerds. It's hard to
Yeah,
believe. We're almost
we're
on 50.
we're tiptoeing towards that big 50. It's huge. But what have you been doing this week? You've been playing like Destiny or anything else? Or I know we talked before about other games, but what have you been up
Yeah,
to?
yeah. Destiny's been kind of put on a little bit of a back burner for me recently. Simply just because like I feel like I've done everything this season that I've been wanting to do. And like I guess the only thing that I still need to do in a sense is still get Necrochasm. I've yet to get Necrochasm. I have like all the reason to get it because it's so good. And like it goes with all the cool builds that I want to make and stuff like that. But I just have yet to bring myself to go into, and I just don't have a lot of time either, being in school and
Yeah. You
trying to
basically have
go to
to
the
stay
gym
up.
as well too.
You basically have to like hit the demon hours with us if you want to like
Oh
get
yeah,
crap
you have
done.
to stay up super late, and I've just been enjoying the game. I like found a new love for Cyberpunk. I don't know why I started playing Cyberpunk again, but like when I've been seeing a lot of buddies play it, and I'm just like, oh, I really want to. I hop back into it, and like I've started like understand the game a little bit more. So it's like it's a little bit more kind of take a little grasp than it did before. So it's been a lot of fun though. I've enjoyed that, and then of course, I've like kind of got hooked on Madden a little bit recently as well too.
Did you get the new one?
I got the EA Play thing,
Oh, so you
so
can play for 10 hours,
no,
right?
I got the big boy, so I can
Oh,
play any fucking game.
it's worth it actually if you
It
play the
is
games.
14.99 a month to play like endless amount of games for however long you want to.
It's kind of
So
good. I might start doing it and playing FIFA for like 2 months. So you end up
mhm,
only paying $40 for the game and then
yeah,
get rid of it until the next year and then bring it back
yeah.
in.
I couldn't bring myself to pay $70 for another Madden as well too, so that was
Dude, I
tough.
can't
But
do it. I can't do it. It's too much. I've been playing, dude. I've been playing.
it's the same shit, different day. That's all
Yeah,
it is. The sports
exactly.
games, but they grab you every fucking time, man. It
Mine, yeah,
just gets
FIFA is
your ass.
mine, bro. FIFA, which it's called EAFC now. It
Yeah,
grabs me every year, like no matter what. I'll get it and play it for like 5 hours and then not play it again. But I've been playing, dude. I'm the same boat. Well, I've still been doing Destiny stuff. Getting my like next week, got to do my master Crota clear, and then I got the seal this week for the seasonal thing. So my seasonal stuff's done. I
nice.
do need to get Necrochasm. I actually literally just have to beat Crota to get it. Like I got it to that next step of the. I have all the essence, so I have the.
Oh,
You
okay. I didn't know
just
there
have to.
was a next step. To be honest, I
You
thought it
just
was
have to
just get
kill
the.
Crota, and then it gives it to you.
Oh,
So I'm doing that. But Assassin's Creed Mirage came out this week. I've been playing that. It's super fun. I
oh
love.
yeah.
I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, and
Yeah, for the record, he was playing it before we started on his
I
on his
was.
thing as well
I
too.
was literally we were wet sitting here. I was playing on my ROG Ally. But I've been streaming it. Like I'm gonna do like a full stream playthrough of it just because it's like a game I think is so fun. I kind of want to share it with people as I play. So kind of doing that. But Destiny, we got a lot of Destiny left, but we're kind
Oh
of in
yeah.
that weird portion of the season, right?
Oh
Where it's
yeah.
like, well, we've done almost everything. There's like that mid-season update coming out, I think
Mm,
21st or something, or no,
yeah.
17th or 14th. I don't know what the day is. Someone on Twitter said it, but
I
yeah,
genuinely didn't know what the date was until
I
I just looked.
I don't actually know what it is, but I saw somebody. I think I saw the Destiny community thing, and I don't even know. Like, this is how far. Actually, this is how much I don't really care about whatever this mid-season update is. Is I don't even know what it is. Do you? Do you have any idea?
I don't. No, I haven't really been paying much attention to. I did see where there's like a couple nerfs, and I think they're bringing a couple things back down to kind of hopefully balancing, but we'll see.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
perfect timing. We just got our
Yeah, our guest
beautiful
is
guest in.
here. So I think this is a good time. People aren't here for us, right? I mean, they might be
They're
kind of
not.
here for,
No, they're not here
but
for
we
us.
have a
They're definitely
really
here for this beautiful man we have with us tonight.
awesome guest. It is technically his third time on a show that we have done.
Yeah.
He was on Destiny Nerds before, and then he was on Six Fronts podcast that we did, and now he's back
Yeah.
once again. Let's say his name in unison, like together,
Okay.
because we both love him so much. In 3, 2, 1, let's welcome
Above.
Above.
There he
Let's
is.
fucking go!
What's up,
What's good,
brother?
lads? What's
How are you,
going on?
brother?
Welcome to the stream,
Welcome back.
bro.
Hey, thank you so much. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Dude.
We're good. How are you feeling about your good old football team? Did you guys play this week?
We didn't. Bye week.
Bye week.
For
Nice.
both, actually, dude. It's been a bad sports week in Seattle.
That's
Huskies
tough.
and Seahawks on bye. It was
That's
very
tough.
sad.
That's
How about
right.
you?
Well, Florida State and the Falcons won, so I'm a happy man. So
Damn.
maybe
All right.
And outside of those sports,
yeah,
City lost today to Arsenal, which was great.
yeah, he's
and
a soccer lover.
And yesterday, Man United won. Listen, all right, I know you guys don't care about soccer or my football, but yesterday, United's losing the whole entire game. In the 93rd minute, a substitution comes in. He scores again the equalizer, and then in the 98th minute of extra time, he scores the winner. So we win the game. So it was intense.
Can't be too upset, then, can you? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I haven't watched soccer since the Argentina won the World Cup. So.
Of course you haven't. Yeah,
I actually used to watch it a lot back in the day. I used to be obsessed with FIFA. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but I used to play it all the time. Oh, really?
We were literally just talking about before you got on here that he's been playing Madden. I've been playing EA.
I got sucked into the Madden loop again, dude. It's
no
awful.
way, bro.
It's awful. Dude, I did a whole season all day yesterday.
No way.
All day Saturday, I started as a quarterback and I won the Super Bowl in the same day.
Oh my god.
It's awful, dude. It was awful. I was like, I can't get up from this chair until I beat the fuck out of the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I was a big Ultimate Team player. I don't know if you've played Madden Ultimate Team.
I haven't. No, I haven't. I've always been like a franchise or
don't.
Yeah,
no,
I can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself.
It's really bad.
It's the amount of controllers I've broke because of FIFA in my life is it's astronomical. Like I think in college I was known for like if I got beaten FIFA, I would throw the controller at the wall, just buy someone a new one. Like I was committed to the anger.
Holy shit.
That's so well, before we go any further, Above, we know who you are, bro. We're glad that you're here. And so just real quick for those that are listening that may not know who you are, and if you don't, what the fuck? Two, just let us know, who you are, what you do, where you do it. Tell us what got you into streaming and kind of the whole, Destiny story as well too. Like you do content full time as well too. So kind of just take us along that journey real quick.
I'm Above. I do full-time content creation, as Maddox said, as for 2 years as of June. So actually almost 2.5 years now. That alone is crazy for me to fathom because I remember like it literally seems like I was in an office job like last week and all of a sudden it's like 2.5 years have flown by. And to be honest, it's like I love it so much, but it's the hardest job I've ever had by a mile too, which is kind of crazy to think about. I love it every day, but man, it's just constant, So we were actually just talking about it this week, but like finding the balance, like, and I saw people reaching out on Twitter, finding the balance of like,
we're going to talk more about that as well too. So we're going to talk more about that.
I won't go too in depth, but yeah, anyways. So, full-time content creator, mainly focused on PvE style content. I host a game show called Grandmaster Gauntlet that Maddox has been on a few times. And
don't remind me.
Has also, and then you did kind of like your own version of that with Trials of Tribulations, which has been really cool. And yeah, other than that, I started streaming. God, when did Apex Legends come out? Was it like 2018, something like that? Because that's actually how I got my start in streaming. I love that game so much. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna boot it up just for fun to see what happens. I had just gotten a PC. And that was like one of the first games I played, fell in love with it, started streaming. And then a month after I started streaming, I went back to D2 and never looked back. So, I played D1 back in the day, but not nearly to the capacity that I played D2. Like, I think we did Vault of Glass blind with my friends. And then we did, the whole Dark Below DLC and like did Crota. And like did that whole raid like completely blind with friends, and then after that everybody kind of fell off because there was like that whole year gap of like no content, and then it was like middle of college for me, so I was just focused on like getting my career started and everything, and yeah, here we are. So I know it's kind of a long-winded thing, but yeah.
No,
anyway.
So 2 years now you've been doing this full time. Take us through just like a quick little journey of like how that's been for you. Like that's a like you said, it's one of the toughest jobs that I think anybody in this day and age can have because of just how saturated it is. You have so many people that started doing this, like, due to COVID, sitting at home, and just, I know you did it right before that all that started, but, take us through like how difficult that is, like what your like day to day thing is, where you're, staying in touch with your friends and family and stuff like that.
God, it's honestly, it's hard to put into words.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So like typical week will look like on Monday, that's usually my off day to like recoup and be like, okay, resets tomorrow, like what's important that's coming up, like that I need to focus on as like potential content. I usually put out a Discord streaming schedule every week. I try to stay true to it. Usually don't. Chat gives me shit about it. But we keep like a general schedule. I stream 5 days a week and try to do 2 videos. So typically like, obviously Tuesday early week is like a lot of reset stuff. We've started integrating more variety like later in the week. Saturday is always GMG during Grandmaster Gauntlet season, which is like kind of like the big show day. And then Sunday we usually do some sort of like community rating, which is what we were just doing. Because a lot of people, I find like one thing in the directory is not a lot of like people will run like the current content, but a lot of the older raids and stuff like that kind of get like left behind. And if anybody's missed out on that loot, they just have no way to get it. So even though we were running Crota today, a lot of times we'll run like Vow of the Disciple for like Forbearance, which is just insane, or whatever. So I always try and plan out like specific activities, come up with a couple things each week that are like a little different from the norm. Like obviously we'll do like GMs one day, we'll do GMG, which is always fun, and then try and mix it up. Like we've been playing Lies of P recently, which has been like so balding, bro. Like that game is dude, you talk about throwing controllers, Luke. I like about was the other night. It was borderline. Like I was like, dude, someone was like, oh, dude, this boss isn't that bad. I was about to like swing on my monitor, bro. I was like, this boss is that bad, man.
That's how I was with Elden Ring. I wanted to can just throw some shit, man. I was getting so pissed off.
The crazy part is like Elden Ring is really tough. This Lies of P game, like for a lot of people who have played a bunch of Souls games, is actually so difficult. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, stream 5 days a week. I try to do 2 videos. I focus a lot on like GM guides and things like that, but also like come up with a lot of like more informational, like staying up to date with the meta type videos. So like we recently did like the top 5 exotic armor pieces for each class, which has changed like a ton over the last 6 months or so with like sandbox changes and things like that. So always try and keep it fresh, come up with ideas, which is I find one of the hardest things to do is the YouTube side. For me, I love streaming. It's like what comes naturally to me. Like I love just like hanging out with chat and everything. I do like the YouTube side, but that is definitely the part of my job where I feel like it's more of a necessity to grow and like to really like make sure that you have a presence out kind of like in the Destiny community at all times. And I've gotten to the point where I feel like I've got a good rhythm with it, but it's always like one of those things in the back of your mind. Okay, like how many days since the last video that I posted? When do I need to start gathering footage for the next one? I need to get a script together, make sure like fact check everything, get all the footage I need, like do all that stuff. It's always kind of like, that's the part that's always lingering in the back of my mind. And like I said, I enjoy it, but when Destiny kind of runs out of content, I feel like for creators now, it's definitely on the more difficult side of like in terms of other games where, so like, for example, even like PvP in D2, like Wall is cracked. He can just upload a video using any gun that he wants. And he'll like, people love watching him because he's an amazing player, right? But if you're a PvE creator, I often find like low man challenges don't really get in great viewership. Like, unless you're like literally the first person to do it. If you go run 2-man Crota right now and upload it, you'll probably get 17 views. You know what I mean? Or, like lucky for me, like GMs now, they're kind of coming out at a 1 a week cadence type of thing for the first couple weeks of the season. So like I always have a planned video every Tuesday, which like that gives me some comfort. It's the ones where like the season gets unstructured. There's not a ton of new weapons to cover anymore later in the season. The seasonal story's wrapped up. There's no new GMs coming out. It's like, okay, are we doing like prep videos for the following season? Are we focusing like it all just becomes like total, like that's pure content creation, which I love and also stresses me out all at the same time. Cause it's like, it's completely on you to come up with an idea that people will be interested in. and then to put it all together, which is obviously like much more work than just, I'm going to go play 3 PvP games, chop up a highlight. It's like I have to come up with a concept from scratch, compile a huge list, write a script, go grab footage that's like, I deem like to be good enough to be put into a video, and make sure all the facts are correct, and like do all this stuff. And it take like, I mean, honestly, videos can take 10 plus days when they're done the right way. And it's just, that's the part that always lingers in my mind of content creation. So like when I talk about the average week, like it's tough, like, cause the streaming side's very structured of like, I'm going to be live these days from this time to this time. But the YouTube, it's like in the background, when people think it's like your day off, like it's usually not. You're usually script writing, or you're thinking of next videos, or you're managing your Discord community, or reaching out to sponsors, or you're planning podcasts like this, or GMG stops, or whatever. It never stops. So one of the things I've been like really trying to figure out lately is like, how can I better there was actually an editor in the community who was talking about it recently, but I just told him like, compartmentalizing your life and being like, these are my dedicated days off, and I'm not going to do anything work related, which I never follow myself. But like for the most part, I try to really like, when my wife's home and it's like our time together, like that's our time. I don't have my phone. Like we try and focus on just like each other and our relationship, and not thinking about work, which it's hard to do because it's like it's become my life,
Oh yeah.
I feel
we'll talk more about that later. So hold that thought.
Before we talk about that, I want to ask you a question that has something to do with this. And it's a question that maybe people don't know about, because we have you here. So I like to figure out if we can get stuff out of you that people wouldn't know.
Okay.
What's your morning routine? I love hearing about people's, and you have a weird life. So your morning might not be normal morning.
Well, and I stream pretty late too. So like I start 6 p.m. Pacific time is like when my stream starts. So I mean, I can go till midnight, 1 o'clock sometimes Pacific. And then like, as I'm sure you guys know, like after you stream, it's not like you just flip the stream off and go to bed. Like you're riding that high of streaming. It's really hard to like wind down and instantly be like, all right, bet I'm going, time to hit the sheets.
You just fall
so
asleep.
Usually it's like, 2:30, 3 o'clock. I would say like on average, which is bad. I need to be better about like getting to bed, ending stream earlier, which is honestly, it's something I was actually talking to my chat about today. I was like, what do you guys think about like a noon to 5 stream a couple days a week so I can like rest more?
Have a normal life.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's tough too, so like my wife actually got a new job recently, and she's working with a school district. So her schedule now is, she goes to work in the morning. She's off at 4:30. I start stream at 6. I'm usually off a couple of the weekdays, and then like I start late afternoon on the weekends. So like we have most of the days on the weekends. We have a couple weeknights together, but those other days, it's like we have an hour that we see each other, and then it's like opposite schedules. Like she gets off. I've been on dog duty in like the house and doing YouTube stuff. And then like she gets home, and then it's like we see each other for an hour, and then like she's on dog duty. She's doing her workouts. She's doing, it's like, it's tough. Like we're trying to find that balance, and it's new. She's only been in the job like a month and a half, 2 months ish. Mm-hmm. So like trying to find that balance, I think is like our major priority right now.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, tell me what you do though when you wake up. Like, what is your morning routine?
Oh God.
If you feel like telling us. I just love
no, it's fine. It's nothing crazy. Like honestly, the mornings, like for me, because I do work like so much of the evenings, like even when I get off stream, sometimes I'll get off and like I'm already in that work mindset. So I'll like, go and grab footage, or I'll start script writing or whatever. Depends on the day really. But like I wake up, I make myself breakfast, and I'll chill like watching YouTube for, I don't know, like 30, 45 minutes. And then I always get our dog on like a good like hour plus walk. That's always how I start our day. We walk her like twice a day. She's our baby. So basically like wake up, breakfast, coffee, gotta like get up, get my life in order. And then I get the dog on like a big long walk. And then from there, it's like, do I have stuff to do around the house, or is like today like a big YouTube day that I need to like go and buckle down? Basically before the wife gets home at 4:30, I'll have like, because I usually wake up like 9:30 ish, I would say, which is pretty fortunate. But again, I work like so late that
that's
I'm not getting.
That's
I'm
good
not
for
ge-
being up till 2, 3
Yeah,
a.m.
like
though.
you like 9:30, 10, I would say. And then, by the time I'm done walking the dog, it's probably already past like noon, 12:30. So that leaves me a few hours to like work on YouTube stuff or like catch up on email or do whatever I need to do, put Discord schedule. We've been trying to be more consistent working out. So we're doing cycling 3 days a week, which is so hard to fit in, by the way, with everything that's going on, but we are sticking to it. So like I always try and get my workout in before she gets home to like make sure that we have like full like time together. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. Like it's always it's weird because like sometimes I feel guilty waking up later and like taking a chill in the morning, but I always remind myself like, dude, you're up until ungodly hours in the night, like working from 6 to like 2 in the morning,
Yeah,
so
you're like night shift.
it's the night shift, right? So yeah, it's it's a bizarre, I don't know, it's been kind of a weird adjustment. I'm trying to find like the balance right now, honestly.
I feel you.
It sounds like you're definitely putting the effort in to find such a balance, and I like to hear that like you respect your wife and your time together as well too, because a lot of people will kind of take that for granted, like their significant other, while they're trying to become a popular
especially in this industry
community member and stuff like that. Oh yeah, like
yeah, and I appreciate you saying that because I think that's something I've been like very conscious of.
same here as well too. That's why I'm like kind of bringing that up as well. So
that's why I play
and I
video games at
respect
10
it.
p.m.
Yeah, dude, same. Even on the weekends, like when I'm not streaming, like the boys are like, "All right, we gaming," like we've been grinding Overwatch, which I don't know why we're back on that game, but here we are. But like, so we've been getting like shit on in Overwatch, and dude, I won't hop on till like 9:30, 10 o'clock, like until she's asleep, and then I guess that's like the cycle, right? Like I wait for my significant other to go to bed, and then I'm like, all right, now it's my time to like unwind with the boys, and then all of a sudden you're up till 2:30 again. You're questioning life the next day, like, dude, why do I do this to myself?
I resonate with what you're saying more than anything you could ever imagine,
dude.
Really.
Oh, especially with a kid, like I'm sure.
Yeah, so my life,
just
before it was a little easier, to be honest, to sit here at 10 and game. Now it's like, what do I do? Like, do I game or do I go to sleep? Because I gotta wake up no matter what, because there's a human that depends on me now.
Yeah.
Other than my wife waking up, which I don't need to wake up with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and another one coming in February. So like, who the
That's
heck knows?
right, dude. Congrats, man.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll see if games still even are a thing for me at that point.
Yeah.
It'll be a weird season, but
yeah,
you'll figure it out. I know you will.
Oh yeah. It's the best thing ever, by the way. The best thing I've ever done in my life. So it's the hardest. I've been hearing this. It's the hardest thing of all time. I'm more tired than I've ever been, but I'm more happy and fulfilled than I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Like having a little kid. So
that's awesome.
If that means anything to anyone that's listening. There's this song by Corey Asbury that's out that had me like almost crying the other day. It's about like living in the moment with the kids, like because of how old they are. Like they'll only be a certain age and do a certain thing at a certain time, and then they grow out of it, and then it's just gone. Like that's the only time they'll do that, and I'm like feeling that like it's no one's business because Crew just started walking, and
we need to stop.
I'm telling you, bro.
We need to stop.
This got way too real.
I don't even have. This is a Destiny 2 podcast, not a fucking reflect.
Oh, this got so real.
Yeah, we need to relax.
This is why people listen.
Destiny players
are deep.
Anyways. No, I'm kidding. No, I like feel, and I understand what you're saying. Of course, I don't have kids. I don't have anything like that. But just living in the moment's always been a very important thing for me. Anyways, do you want to expand on that, or do we want to?
We can go into the topic now.
I feel like
it's really just we've been buttering up this whole topic about
let's talk about Destiny.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it. So back to what you were saying, or what we were talking about, is just kind of like your day-to-day thing, and like how you kind of compartmentalize, like you were saying, your schedule and everything. I want to talk about not only like a content loop, but I want to talk about the gameplay loop itself, specifically talking about Destiny 2. And I think you've had a lot of opinion about this above. That's one reason why I wanted to talk to you about it. Is how does the gameplay loop in Destiny 2 affect, one, what you do, two, like your drive to play the game in itself. So as you know, in Destiny, we always have the same shit over and over again, like same shit, different day. And we have a Tuesday reset. We have a Friday trials. We have GMs that come out on a certain time in the season. We have seasonal content. We have seasonal story. Like it's the same thing over and over again, just kind of a different mask on this season. So my question to you is how would you just explain the gameplay loop kind of in your understanding to how would you improve it? Because I want to have a reason to get on the video game every single week or in every single month or however so, but I haven't felt that recently in the past couple seasons, in my opinion. So just kind of expand on that if you wouldn't mind.
Oh man, I honestly. So first of all, I guess for me, I'm kind of in an interesting position because I'm much more focused on like, I feel like end game activities and things of that nature than like, the person who logs on a reset and is like stoked to dive into the weekly story and like progress. Like I just never really have like cared about that stuff that much. Like I was much more of the kind of person when like a DLC would drop, like similar to Witch Queen, like or Lightfall, like when there's a campaign to go play through and like I can consume it in bulk and like have a cohesive story like told to me that I can play through on my time. Like if I want to binge it one night, get through a few levels, and then like, it's like the old Halo campaigns back in the day. Like I love that format much more than like the time gated stuff. Now, like I will say this season, I feel like they actually improved quite a bit. I think that it's like one of the better seasons in a while.
I will agree with that. I do agree. In a sense,
you don't have like the 3x7 grid that we got in Arrivals and then had for 2 years straight.
That was the worst. That was
like the deck system. I think is like a cool innovation. I actually think the activity is like pretty cool as well. And I think one of the reasons it's actually one of the better like seasons in a while is like we got a couple different new GMs, even though they are like recycled battlegrounds. Like it's still a new challenge to tackle in the GM playlist, which has been nice and refreshing, to be honest, like because it's always fun coming up with strats instead of like, oh, we have Lightblade for the 6th time in 8 seasons. Like we know this to a T at this point. We know exactly where to stand. We know where every champion is. And I think that you kind of get into that like micro analyzation point of the game when you're just not getting that level of content that you want in core playlists. And I feel like they've actually done a better job this season than they have in previous, like coming for example with the new Crucible mode as well, which I know a lot of people have really enjoyed. What is that one called? I don't even remember. Checkmate I know has been like super popular. Like, a lot of people are just wanting that to be like the I guess like kind of the standard gameplay mode now from what I've heard. I haven't had the chance to try it, but so between like adding GMs and like adding some new adepts this season that people actually care about, like the Cataphract in trials and like the updated Igneous Hammer loot pool, I know people have been chasing for both PvP and PvE, and just things of that nature. I think it's good. I think the Reprise raid was really good. I think they did well with Crota. So for me, actually, I feel like this season is more of what I look for in seasons. In terms of like content creation on like Tuesdays and things like that. Like, again, I'm not the person who's going to log in and like play the weekly story. I hate the time gated nature of that content. If they're going to time gate it, I feel like it should be like in 3 parts that are much like you can consume much more in like a single sitting if you want. Whether you want to like play through individual missions like 1 per week, or you want to consume like 4 of the 12 in 1 week, they can be like, all right, the next story checkpoints in X number of weeks or like X number of resets or so. I don't know how they would do it, but I don't know. I feel like it's just, it's weird being able to go in, play a mission, do the seasonal story, and then like you're done. And there's nothing really, like I don't really look forward to Tuesday reset, and I don't think many players do relative to like how they were in D1. Because again, like there's some vendors that change, but I feel like in terms of gameplay loop improvements, I know this has been a huge topic going around. I think crafting.
Well, I don't know how we'll talk more about that too.
Okay, that's the hot take.
To be honest though, like we'll talk about it more later, like you said, but like that is the gameplay loop that I think is honestly like hurting the game the most, is that you default to, oh, I'll craft this in a couple weeks, and so whatever I get now doesn't matter at all. Like I literally the other day, I think it was, what is it, like the Fang of Virute or whatever it's called, it's a machine gun from Crota. I got like a good roll on it. The second that I got my 5th pattern, I dismantled it. Didn't care. Like, and it was a solid roll. I was like, oh, I'll just go craft the literal perfect 5 out of 5 that I want, which like is great. I get it from like the time investment standpoint. I think adjustments would need to be made in terms of like how much loot you get for the activities you complete. And I think they need to limit what can and can't be crafted. But man, it kills motivation, I feel like, to farm a lot of the activities in the game, because you keep your eye out for the 5 patterns and then you're done. So I think it just needs to be pared down a lot, and then I think people would care much more about like the weekly resets and like the vendors that get their loots refreshed like every week, and they would care more about farming raids more often, or I don't know. It's weird. I saw a clip. I don't know if you guys saw that clip that Pure Chill posted of Enkooch the other day, of like when he got the perfect sniper. Dude, I've not had that feeling in this game for so long.
It's been a while.
That.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk more about crafting later, because so if you don't know, in our podcast now, our like final talking point is like a hot take of the week, and like either me, Luke, or our guest will come up with it. And I have something that kind of resembles the whole crafting talk, because I've tweeted out before, and I saw recently our buddy Demon Joe talk about it as well too. So I have kind of a similar opinion, but we'll talk more about that later. I won't really.
Yeah, the good news is I have a pretty opposite opinion, so we'll have a good.
So we're gonna be yelling at each other
talk about
through the phone.
Like I'm gonna probably punch both of you in the face. I'm just kidding.
But I want to talk about just kind of my opinions about this as well too, and of course Luke, and just so. What it kind of goes back to that whole crafting thing as well too, is like what brought me back on Destiny 1 every single week was a vendor refresh. Oh, do they finally have that God Roll hung jury that I missed out on? Or you get a new game mode that came out in Crucible or something like that, or like Rift is back, guys. Holy crap, we get to go play Rift now. Or what was the weekly raid that we get to thing, which of course is a thing now as well too, but what are you gonna go do a 5-year-old raid for? Like, I already did all that shit 6 years ago. Get it? Because it's so long ago. Yeah. And now recently they've been reprising them where they become craftable and stuff like that. But they become craftable, you get all the guns and you're done. Like, you're done again, like within the first week. And going back to Enkooch as well too, that feeling of like getting that RNG, God roll has not been a feeling. And that's what I played this game for, was like grinding to get that God roll, to finally be able to, do the most DPS, or finally, have that 2-kill hand cannon in PvP or something like that. Yeah. And that just excitement just isn't there anymore. And it hasn't been here in a long time. And it's simply just because the loop that we're in is just the same shit, different day. You go in, and for me, I enjoyed the story. I think Bungie does absolute phenomenal job of storytelling. I just want to preface that. Like you were saying, this season, what's going on with Eris Morn is beyond me. Like, I'm like, holy shit, this is insane, because
until the end.
Well, I
it was
haven't.
Have you done the end?
No.
Okay, then
I have seen the cutscene.
You'll be not super pumped then. Yeah, well, one of the most important thing happens off screen, so that's what they tend to do all the time,
right?
Which is my least favorite parts of storytelling.
Yeah, well, I just wish that like you were saying, that time gated thing as well too, where you have to wait every single week to progress the story. I'm get the campaign done in one and be like, holy shit, that was insane, that was so fun. Now what can we do? Like, and providing those things with replayability is something that's been lacking, in my opinion, as well too. Like, there's no reason to go play Destiny 2 comp. There's no reason to go play Destiny 2 Crucible just in general, because there's really barely any loot that you can get, because it's all craftable now, and you don't get any craftable shit from PvP, by the way. So that was my kind of rant there for a second, but I don't even know, how do you improve it? Like, what do you improve in the loop to bring kind of majority of the gamers back? Of course, you can of course can you put crafted loot in PvP? Of course you can, but then that grind is going to be so minuscule and so short. to a sense where you're gonna still be, just a couple weeks in and you're right back out to where you started, What about you, Luke? I want to hear your thoughts.
So the gameplay loop, for me, it's like it's not like a pointless conversation at this point, but the game is getting. I talk about this a lot. Like we're getting really close to 10 years of Destiny.
Yeah.
We've been playing it for so long, like probably longer than they probably actually thought we'd actually be still like this in love with the game. So they've done. There's just so many things that you can do in this game, but if you're players like us, you've done them all, and then to the point where it's like, what the frick are we supposed to do each week? I'm not sure that when they made this game, they were thinking, oh my gosh, people are going to play this so much and then eventually make it like their job, like it's above job to make content on this game to the point where they're like, those people are probably going to get bored at some point of this gameplay loop because it's not. I don't think that's meant for us. Like I think it's meant for players that don't have a ton of time to like just do their things. Now I'm with you guys. I hate time gated stuff. Just let me. I paid for it. Just let me play it all at once. Plus, but if they lumped all of this seasonal stuff together, it'd be super boring because it'd be like, do altars. Okay, now do aspire. Okay, now do an altars. Okay, now do aspire. Okay, do a mission. Okay, it would literally just because that's all it ever is it's like a mission, and it's not even a mission. It's like a aspire. And
I think they'd have to like reclassify how that would work for sure. But yeah, I agree.
They'd have to switch that up into it. Like, cause like I'm with you guys to make it better for me. I would be cool if I miss like just dump everything on us. But I think that where I'm at mentally is I play it like I'm just waiting for this imaginary new Destiny world that isn't even a thing yet that I'm hoping that they're working on that has all new stuff. Like that takes everything that they've done well in Destiny in this Destiny 1, Destiny 2 era and take the best stuff from that, bring it into a new system with all kinds of new stuff so that we have new stuff to chomp our teeth into. Because I'm not really sure what's like personally, if I really had to think about it, I don't know what's gonna. I mean, I'm gonna come back and play no matter what because I'm addicted to this game. But I'm not sure what's gonna make me come back because it's like, ooh, that sounds fun. Like I just like to play Destiny because I get to shoot stuff and it feels good. And then I like to play PvP because it makes me feel like I'm talented at a video game, even though I'm not. So
I have a quick question. I have a quick question. Do you guys think, and this just kind of struck me a little bit, do you think this game needs like a sunset again?
100 million bajillion percent.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
stuff, bro. That doesn't matter at all.
There is so much shit in this game where like
sunset my vault too for me so that it can be unfilled.
Like, do you remember whenever Taken King came out, all our shit got sunset? Like, hey guys, this is a brand spanking new start to Destiny. You have a brand new person, a brand new raid, a brand new everything, brand new guns, brand new destination. This game is like quite literally restarting. What do you guys think about that happening in Destiny 2 like right now? Like the final shape happens, fuck all the shit you have right now. It's gone. You can't use it. It's not going to be worth anything unless you use it in like Crucible or unless you use it in like the old stuff. Like it's back down to 1300 power or whatever like that. Like whatever they're 1600. It can't go anything higher. It can't do anything like that. Where are we thinking on that?
That's actually been like my major cope is that the final shape is like something major happens similar to like, Gaul destroying the tower or whatever. And like we're forced to reset. My issue is that my concern is that like they failed so miserably the first time they introduced sunsetting and it left such a bad taste in everybody's mouth that I think their view of like what sunsetting's purpose really is and what it should be for the game is so tainted and they're so frustrated and we're upset by it that I don't know if they would ever allow it or like even give it a chance to like surface again, which is like my main concern. But my argument for it is like, you have so many weapons of the same archetype. You have so many weapons with the same perks. You have so many weapons that do the same things that like eventually you lose interest in chasing new loot because you're like, oh, well, do I really need that new wave frame I've already got for Barrens? Do I really need that new shotgun? I've already got Heritage. Do I really need the new machine gun? I've already got the Commemoration. Like, do I really need a new PvP hand cannon? Already got Igneous Hammer. Already have Rose. Already have Sparat. Like, I mean, you name it. Like, there's so many weapons that fill the exact same need. And like, eventually people lose interest in the loot. This, for example,
That's exactly where I'm at right now, bro. I don't care to go get anything of these new weapons because I have so much shit that already does the same stuff.
yeah, and I mean, people just at the end of the day, they don't care like anymore. So, including me, like a lot of the new loot, unless there's something that's so unbelievably broken that comes out. For example, like think about what they're having to do to keep people interested. And I know people think power creep's this thing that's like fabricated by content creators, but just like hear me out. We went from having rockets that, you know, would have auto loading and lasting impression, right? Like you'd shoot a rocket, you'd get some crazy damage off of the perk, you could throw in some Izanagi swaps, whatever. Now it's like, okay, we have cold comfort, you get a finisher, you have the right perks on it, you can shoot 8 consecutive rockets without reloading in like under 5 seconds. Like now we have bait and switch on rockets that are getting a 35% damage bonus for 10 seconds. Like we have forbearance that's healing you, clearing rooms of ads with 1 shot on the ground that you barely have to aim, and then you have a second shot to clean up anything. Like it's just, the loot is so strong that the only way that they incentivize people to go farm new stuff is by making it incredibly like power crept over the previous loot. And eventually what's happened in the 3 years since Beyond Light is all that loot just progressively gets more and more powerful. And so you see all this old stuff in your vault that you never touch because like it was stuff that used to be good. I remember like Long Shadow's a prime example in Arrivals. It had triple tap. It was like, what was it? It was triple tap and
rapid hit.
So you'd get extra ammo and you'd load it extra fast and have like perfect reload and like all these things. That sniper's been power crept 30 times over. Like most people deleted that shit out of their vault because it's so irrelevant.
I have a shit ton of snipers that are triple tap and Vorpal or triple tap firing line or 4th times a charm firing line, this and that. And I'm just like, how many of these bitches do I need? Like
100%. Like, dude, there's snipers I'll delete from Crucible, like the Void Crucible one. I don't even remember the name of it. Or like the Fuge or whatever 55.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that thing comes with crazy rolls. I don't even look at it.
Silicon Aroma had like 4th times a charm and firing line. I've got like 14 of them, and I'm just like, I don't use a sniper for DPS for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna use my like materials that are so scarce in endgame now that like I'm gonna rank all of them up to max and like craft them and level them up and waste all my cores and ascendant shards and prisms and like all this other shit that you need. It's just I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a hard reset. Like the rockets and the machine guns and the grenade launchers that we have now. Like now there's a grenade launcher with Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch on it. If a GL ever becomes meta, that's like just, I mean, dude, people are cope farming it for whenever it becomes meta and like GLs get buffed. Dude, you're able to shoot, I think it's like 17 GLs in a row with a 35% damage buff. That's insane. Like that's crazy. And so a GL would have to be so broken to surpass that in future loot. Like say a raid comes out and has a GL that just doesn't compete, instantly people don't care about that raid's loot pool because they're like, oh, well, I already have the trials one. Or actually there was a seasonal one that came out. Like I guarantee you next season they bring one out. There's going to be a craftable, you can quote it. There's going to be a craftable, like Envious or some other perk close to it, and Bait and Switch grenade launcher, just like they did with Wendigo. You guys remember that? They did like the auto-loading explosive light Wendigo, and then immediately Lightfall launches and Regnant is bugged, and like everybody got the god roll within like 5 minutes.
That.
It was the same GL. It was the same GL, but actually better because it had a better like perk on it. Anyway, it needs to happen whether people like it or not, because at the end of the day, other live service games have sunsetting or soft loot resets for a reason. Diablo does it every season.
Tarkov does it every season. New character every time it comes out. You have no choice.
WoW has had all sorts of loot resets. Like they whether it's capping the power or whatever, like there's a reason live service games, they have to stay interesting to the player for a reason, because games weren't meant to exist back in the day to keep consumers interested in chasing loot for multiple years at a time. Like that's just not something, much less even like a year is like a pretty big feat, I feel like, in gaming. And I feel like Destiny's actually done a pretty good job of that. But keeping people interested for how long has D2 been out at this point? Like almost, what is it,
2017.
6 years? Like,
Yeah.
dude, good luck keeping people interested the whole time. Like, eventually, you're just, I mean, you're gonna lose.
That's what I mean. I think it's impressive that we're here at this point. Like they found, like I can tell it's their first time doing this, right? Because they checks, they they experiment with so many different things. We've went through all of it, right? Like whether it's something being like the whole sunset thing, or if it's the way seasons work, or the way seasons don't work, or the way DLCs work. It's like all over the place. That's why, and I personally don't know if like a full reset inside of this universe is probably the key. I think that if they're gonna do a reset of the universe itself, which I think needs to happen based off like the technical stuff, like engine, servers, like all of the above.
Yeah.
Once we get into that new version of Destiny, I think that what you guys are saying is like such a good idea with some sort of sunsetting seasonally or bi-seasonally or whatever that's going to keep the game interesting. But also,
I'd honestly be like, even if it was once a year. Sorry to
Yeah,
cut you
yeah.
off. Just like
Like
every
with a
major
DLC.
expansion
Like with-
comes out,
I'd be
give
down
us
for
a
that.
reason to go and care about the new loot that they drop. Because like, how many times has like Witch Queen or Lightfall dropped? There's a million new seasonal weapons. You don't give a damn about any of them because you have 47 copies of everything that's already there. You know what I mean? So I agree with you, Luke. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, and then you bring back the same shit that was here 2 seasons ago with Igneous Hammer and just give it new perks. And now everybody's like, "Oh, I have to get this new." No, you don't. You already have this weapon. You have this same exact weapon. All you're gonna
It
do is
has
get
a but it has a new flawless shader.
Oh, who
Maddox?
gives a fuck what a flawless shader, dude? And who cares about heal clip? Who cares about fragile focus? Like you still have a god roll of this weapon. Why are you wasting your time going into trials and farming this weapon when you already fucking have it? Like it's no point. I just can't stand that shit, man. I did I do it? Fuck yeah, I did because I'm a misogynistic fucking piece of shit. Like I just want to go do it or whatever. Or masochist. I said
that.
misogynistic. I meant
Massage
masochist.
is
Yeah, I'm just a piece of shit apparently. No, I meant masochist. I meant masochist. No, and it's frustrating because you want to play this game and you want to get the new loot, but it's just like in theoretically it has a new shader on it. You know, like in hindsight, that's all you're going after is just a new the weapon with a different mask on. You know, it's just a new perk, new this and that, but it's the same shit you did 4 seasons ago. Imagine they're gonna bring back Immortal again or something like that. That's gonna have some other crap on it, and they're like, "Oh, gotta go get another Immortal
Gonna
again."
have
I
deep
guess.
demonic rounds possesses the enemy to shoot your teammates for you or some shit. Like, there's gonna be something so stupid, bro. I agree though, and like honestly, it kind of ties back to what you were saying before, is like the gameplay loop. I'm actually okay with the game not like constantly innovating new content because like at the end of the day, I think there's a really cool formula that they've discovered, which is like obviously their raids and their dungeons are great. People love strikes and they love the way PvP feels in this game when the sandbox in a decent state, which like actually I feel like for the first time in a while, like other than Antaeus, it's been in like a pretty decent spot. Like I feel like there's a lot of like weapons that are actually usable. Like hand cannons are pretty decent, SMGs, auto rifles. People are using bows, which are kind of demonic right now. But like, you know, and then they have that new game mode. I feel like they just need to double down so much more on like the seasonal activities, because a lot of the seasons that I've felt like I've had the most fun are like Chosen, when we got Proving Grounds, which was like a new strike. This season, like their new Crucible game mode, which like people are like they've been really enjoying. At the end of the day, people just enjoy shooting their guns in this game. Give us a reason to go back into like the core activities that have proven to be like the main ingredient of your game, and like just add depth to them. Like whether it's literally, and we've said this a billion times, we've talked about it a million times, whether it's aesthetics that you want to go farm for that are super rare from comp, like high-end comp, whether it's like you know, like special glows for master challenges, or like, you know, really low RNG drops of like, I don't know, like weapon skins in for your favorite adepts and like GMs or like whatever it is. I don't know.
Very quickly, do you remember there was a shotgun from Destiny 1 that you could only get from post strike rewards? and I think it was called like the Dry Rot or something like that. And it was like a shotgun that was so badass at the time, and you could absolutely only get it from doing strikes.
Yeah.
And it was like the final strike loot or something like that. And like you could just that's all you could do. If you wanted that badass shotgun, you had to go do strikes. And there's nothing like that here. And now you can just go and just do strikes to get engrams and then go focus on whatever you want. Of course, that's nice in a way, but
or wait 5 weeks and get like the perfect shoddy from Crota, which is apparently like pretty cracked as well. Like
exactly. So and then or you can just go craft something that's better, like you were saying earlier. So
I don't know.
I in hindsight, I am on the like hit the red button that says reset and give us something to care about and to grind for. Like if I can't use another weapon after Final Shape that I currently have right now, I would not be upset one freaking bit. As long as there is something in Final Shape that is worth playing, and even if it's not, at least it's something new that everybody else is using at the same time, and you know it's just kind of like it's just a whole like breath of fresh air that like you know Forsaken gave us and Taken King and stuff like that. Whenever the game like changed drastically, and they've always talked about there's been this whole like thing of talking about a new gear score instead of power level, how like that's been and that may be coming in Final Shape. I'm not sure.
I was gonna talk about like the only other thing that would bring a lot of players back is getting their leveling system right, because like that was one of the main reasons I played Destiny. Like I'd come back on Tuesdays was because new pinnacles, there'd be a new, even if it's not that fun to get powered up, it gives you a reason to like get
I agree with that majorly. Yeah.
Like so if they could figure out a way to make that more interesting or unique, or like some sort of way to make it infinite where it's not like overpowerful, you know what I mean? Like somewhere where if like you want to get to like season level 1000 and it sticks, I don't know, there's like a million things you could do leveling wise. But I think that's a super simple thing they could figure out. And I have read about the new one they're going to be doing, and it doesn't seem confusing, but it doesn't really sound that interesting to me. Like I'll have to just wait until we get into it, but that's definitely a big change up.
We've had so many debates about that actually, Luke, on stream, like talking about like I don't like you said, I don't think the way that they did pinnacle leveling is good or innovative or interesting. But like I have so many people that are like, I don't really know what to do in the game because like our power level didn't increase. I have no incentive to go run different activities, which is like the one thing I feel like Pinnacles did do was like, oh, okay, I have a reason to go run 3 strikes. I have a reason to go into Crucible and like get my pinnacle from running 3 Crucible matches. Like I have my reason to go into these different activities. Like even back in the day, like do you remember flashpoints, like stuff like that? Go check out destinations you would never otherwise visit. I kind of miss those, like actually.
Me
and
too.
it's really weird. It's weird not having any reason to get on the game and build your power up at all. Like you can just stroll into GMs now for 3 seasons in a row, not have to power up whatsoever, which is like kind of takes the aspiration out of it a little bit, or like the working up towards it, like a goal towards the mid-season mark type thing, which like, and again, I'm not saying that it was in any way like innovative, but it was at least a reason to like log in. And it's very conflicting thing. And I have one more note on the sunsetting thing. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
I think the reason so many people have a bad taste in their mouth, like in regards to it, is one, because previously sunset weapons have been come back and marketed as new content, which just to me is mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's fucked.
And 2, when they originally did it, they sunset like 8 or 9 seasons of weapons in one swoop. And then they had a DLC that came out with, I think it was like 30 total weapons, right? Like Forsaken, I think we got like almost 100. Something like that.
Yeah, because it was Beyond Light, right? And everything that's what I was saying. Like, it's okay to happen as long as they bring good shit, and they bring a lot of good shit. You know,
I remember there were like actual holes in the sandbox that there was nothing to fill. Like there wasn't a void SMG at the time, and I was like, that's a problem. Like there should be at least one of each archetype, if not like 2, if you're gonna do a full reset, like things to go chase. When there's like, oh, I need especially because Match Game was in the game at the time. I'm like, oh, it's anti-barrier SMG, and there's a lot of void shields. Sure would be nice to have a void SMG to use in this activity, and they just like didn't exist.
And they sunset the best one.
So like, bro, what are you supposed to do? But anyway, so those are kind of my final thoughts. If they do that type of reset, there needs to be a huge influx of new loot that's interesting, like you said, that's worth chasing. But like, I'm open to those, dude. I get excited like when they're like every year when I would play a new FIFA or something. Like my ultimate team got reset. I was like, dude, bet. It's like it's ground zero, time to go grind. Like I'm gonna start with a starter squad. I'm gonna rank up. It's just that like fun gameplay loop every year that I mean, we all get into video games for a reason. We want like something to aspire and to chase.
Yeah.
And like right now, that's kind of gone.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay, now I'm going to flip the script. This is part 2. Do you guys think Destiny 3 should be a thing?
Oh, I go
And
first.
should
That's a loaded
that be,
question. Go ahead.
should that be the reset, or should they do a reset in current D2?
I think that, and I've said this a bunch on here, but I think that it should not be called Destiny 3. I think it just becomes Destiny, fully new, like I don't.
You've had that
Yeah,
thought for a long
I've had
time.
this
I remember.
thought where
I agree.
Destiny 1 and 2, its thing, it stays in its current, like it's just like maxed out, like they're just at their edge of what they can do with it. It ends with whatever the story is, and then Destiny, new Destiny, like it's just called Destiny, so they don't have to worry about adding. Because I think that they strive eventually for this like this world that changes, and if you don't put numbers at the end, then you can literally just do whatever you want forever with like a completely new engine that's like super future proofed, like servers that are future proof, like all the above. And then that's where all of this new stuff comes into play. Like whether that's they go the route of seasons or they don't, or if it's like big campaigns, or if it's I don't know, or if everything's DLC based, or if it's like really like, or if it's gonna be like World of Warcraft, or if it's gonna be like, you know what I mean, Diablo. I don't
Yeah.
know. I have no clue. I mean, I know Diablo's different. They have numbers at the end, but they'll like their game will be out for like a long time before there's another
Mhm.
number at the end.
Mhm.
So personally, I think that one game just called Destiny, completely new, nothing comes over. I think the lore from what you've done can be involved, but I could see Destiny in a completely new, like this is based off of what I'm like predicting happens at the end. I don't know. I haven't read any leaks, but I'm predicting that like maybe our solar system doesn't exist or something at the end of this and we have to restart. I don't really know. I have literally no
See,
clue.
And I totally agree with you. The thing that's like bizarre to me is it feels like so much of D1's been ported into D2 at this point. It
Yeah.
almost feels like there's like some sort of legal barrier that's preventing them from dropping the 2.
Yeah.
Because
It kind of already feels like
basically
they're doing it.
it
Yeah.
is like D1 already. Like I mean, we have Vault of Glass, we have King's Fall, we have Crota. Like we have so many popular D1 weapons and exotics back, and like they still have kept the 2.
That's true. It could have something to do with Activision. Maybe did they own D1 in some way potentially? Like I don't.
I mean, I know that they
well,
collaborate. I think they published it, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of legal barrier. But Process in chat said something that I thought was really interesting. He said, Destiny Golden Age, so much content going with the origin stories of all the people we know would actually be sick. Because like I
That
don't
would
know
be
where
sick.
they go from here. Like the Light and Dark Saga.
Yeah,
What if
what do
they
you do
did
next?
What if
I don't
they
think they've
do
said
dive
anything
back
about it.
into
I
like
don't
the
think-
origins? That'd be
I
sick.
don't think anybody knows what the hell's going to happen, to be honest. To answer your question though, real quick,
Sorry.
I know it's okay. I just wanted to, because I have kind of an opinion on this as well too. I think I kind of lean towards Luke, but I also lean towards what you were saying as well too. Drop the 2, but it's like it's still a continuing franchise from here. Like it's still the game in its entirety, but it's like once Final Shape hits, it's just Destiny, the Final Shape, and then it's just Destiny, so and so, so and so, and then I wouldn't feel so like upset of porting all this stuff from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, because of course I love it. I'm a King's Fall slut. Bring us back some stuff for Forsaken. I don't care. Anything from Destiny 1 from previous Destiny 2, bring it. It's still content in my eyes. Because of all the stuff that we used to have, we can't use anymore. So cool, bring it. I'll get new roles. But also like I do think that could provide a way of resetting the game as well too, is just, hey guys, we are just now Destiny. Everything from Destiny 1 is looked at as a Destiny 2 as well as a whole. Now this game is just this is the Destiny universe. It's no longer like separated between 1 and 2 anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that would be sick. Of course, it's not going to happen. I'm dreaming about this. But if it could happen with the Final Shape, then that would be fantastic. Or if it happened once the Light and Dark Saga is finished, like after Final Shape, I'd be happy with that as well too. And that be kind of like our reset button. Like done. Final Shape's done. The Witness is dead. The solar system's wiped out because you just created this huge, massive, you know, extinction based off what just happened, and now we have to migrate to a new solar system. Here's the new saga. We are still destined.
See, and this is where, and I think that would be so cool. My issue
would
is
be.
like, and it would, but I don't think they can do that without a new game. And I'll tell you why.
And that's fine. If that's the case, then that's fine. But I still would love to see just that kind of.
Just give us the Destiny 1 and 2
The
tab,
only-
and you tab over, and then you're in the next game.
Sure. The only reason I say that is because if they did that, A, you wouldn't be able to replay the new raid if the solar system was gone. B,
Yeah.
you'd have nothing to do in the end game when the new game started, or like the new chapter started. It'd just be over. So like there's at some point I feel like there's gonna be like a year buffer while they're either building out a new one or like coming up with the future origin stories, but like they have to do something for sure. And I don't
Well,
know how they do it.
I've said multiple times that this is not the end of Destiny. We will still see stuff in the future. So I'm curious. I'd be really, really curious to see what happens. So,
Oh my God, I'm sorry, this is bothering me and I just thought of
Go
it. In terms of the weekly gameplay loop that you guys were talking about earlier, there's only one thing that like really bothers me right now, and it is currently the master raid rotation, which probably, or like the weekly raid rotation, probably doesn't bother that many people. But like, for example, right now, Root of Nightmares is the farmable raid. And so when that's the case, you can go and you can farm conditional finality, right?
Right.
If you want to get a seal, the master version of that raid is also available. You can go and like do the master challenges to get whatever, I can't remember, Dreambreaker or whatever.
Like, are they all available
Yeah.
when it's? Oh dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they go one at a time. So I think it's like a 6 or 7 week rotation at this point between all of the masters, and you can't do it unless it's the weekly featured one. So, but like all of the challenges are available. So if you, for example, if you wanted to go and farm Root of Nightmares and you didn't have time this week, you'd be waiting till January.
Oh, wow.
It's really bad.
Yeah,
Like,
that sucks.
It's pretty bad.
That's
like, you can do-
gotta get on and do it, or
You can do your weekly ones, but like if you had anything in the master challenges that you wanted to do, or like, you know, to get your raid seal or whatever, it's a month and a half lockout between chances to do it.
That does.
So what you're portraying is that it needs to be just like an interchangeable thing, like no matter what.
Like the weekly one should be farmable, but like the whole master playlist should just be available whenever
Always.
you want to run it.
I agree. That because that's the one thing I always do them.
That's never
when
been
they
a
come
thing
out.
though, as well.
I literally like
Weird.
right now, like next week, I have to do the Crota like master challenge, or else like I literally like I had to do them all in a row because I don't know when they come back. I know that they rotate, but then after they rotate, I didn't realize that they only rotate in a weekly.
So the newest raid, like for Crota, for example, will stay. Like that one will
but we'll
be
still
around.
rotate. Like
It'll be on a weekly cadence.
The challenge
but
will
like,
rotate, yes.
but it's just
those
one
challenges are
challenge
always
every-
available. But like, for example, Vow just isn't in the game at all right now.
Yeah.
Like, so
Master
you need to
Vow.
wait 6 weeks for Master Vow to come around for you to even try to do those challenges, which is just, it's wild.
Yeah, that's stupid.
But all the challenges are available to you whenever it is master.
When they come around, but God forbid you're like out of town,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or like your
exactly.
team's, you know, off playing other games because like
Yeah.
D2's not interesting at the end of the season. Like you're just out of luck, you know?
Yeah.
So
God, yeah, that's
anyway,
pretty awful. That's terrible.
that's the one improvement. I didn't really come up with stuff.
No, that
before,
makes
but
sense.
that would
That's a
be-
good
yeah.
thing. I would totally hit the I would check mark on that one on the petition. I'm there. I'd sign that one. I want to move on real quick just because we are crunched for time as well, and I really want to do this next part because it's like really exciting. So what we have for this next, so we always do like a little game. We always do like a tier list or trivia or something like that. Today I have something very special for all of us, for you guys, because I know it already. So if you guys have never heard of this little thing called Ranker, so I absolutely love like I watch a lot of podcasts on TikTok, little shorts, clips, and stuff like that, which you can watch our shorts and clips on the Destiny Nerds TikTok as well too.
we hit
We just hit
1,000
1,000 followers.
That's
So
huge.
if you guys are listening, check out
We're
our
famous.
clips channel at Destiny Nerds on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. What
You'll
I
see
see,
some above clips.
yes,
from
you will
this.
see some above.
I got them all written down already as we've been going. I got like
So
50
there's this
already
one.
written down.
There's this one like podcast type TikTok called Hive Mind. Well, they do this thing through Ranker, and they have like a thing. and they have to guess the top 10 in this so-called category. So today I have a category for us. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is the hardest bosses in Destiny 2 according to Ranker. So it is just people that vote on
Oh,
this. This
God.
is a community voted. You can go on and vote as well too. So I have the list here. You guys, as a chat, as a podcast guest, are gonna guess the top 10 hardest Destiny bosses according to Ranker. All right, and these are pretty fucked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like very like excited for you guys to guess these, but also like these are fucking insanely hilarious. So
Okay.
I'll have a little tracker down below us as well too. So I'll fill in as we go. So there's 10.
Does it include old raids?
It includes raids. It includes strikes. It includes any boss in the
Oh
game.
God, bro.
Any
Okay.
boss in the game. So
Okay.
we'll let this is between you guys because of course I already know the list. So and if you're in chat, you guys can guess as well too, but we just won't count them. So fuck you. I'm kidding. So
you're
above
listening,
Do
you
you,
are,
see, do you hear that, Chad? 1,000 followers on the podcast, and he's already it's just you're nothing to him now. You're just
here,
couple,
let
you
me
know.
actually, since I have this pulled up as well too, let me just save this. So 1 through 10 above, you're a guest. Please give us your first guess on 1 through 10, the top 10 hardest Destiny bosses.
Do I get to look at like
There
the
are options?
the
Like,
options they have?
No, you just give me a guess.
The
Oh
fuck?
my gosh.
Okay,
I don't even know what
yes.
these are.
I would say Sadia is on there from Corrupted.
Okay, that's your guess. I don't want to tell you where it's at.
Oh,
Let's
that like
see.
is the hardest one?
Sadia is not in the top 10. You are wrong. Let's see, Mr. Luke. What's your guess?
Nah,
Let's see
slander.
here. Riven.
Riven sits at number 4.
Let's go.
There's no way. No one does that boss legit.
But it's
What is it
hard.
hard to swing
sits
his sword?
at number 4.
Nah,
So
nah,
Luke
that's
has one
crazy.
so far.
That's
Let me
crazy
look and
behavior.
see where Sadia sits. Oh my god, she's at 19th. 19th.
Jeesh.
That's
And
crazy
there
because
is-
whenever I get blueberries in there, they don't even know how to break her shield.
There's
so.
42 in total, by the way. 42
That's
being
wild
Brackus
behavior.
Zahn, and he's the arms dealer strike.
Can
So,
I name another
all right.
one, or are you going?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I mean I already know the list.
He's not
Uh,
going to get you.
The Lightblade boss.
Lightblade, you are sitting at number 5. Number 5.
Who in the world?
Oh.
Who's cooking? That's my question.
Who is cooking? Because I am not eating.
This is Destiny 2, right? Okay.
Yes,
let me
Destiny
guess.
2. So give us, this is back to you, Mr. Luke. Give me a
Let's
guess.
see. Let's see. Who's hard? Who's hard? I'm trying to think based off of people that don't play this that much, maybe.
Think of this as like a really casual list. I would
So
say
let's
that.
say Atrax.
Atrax. Atrax sits at number
Nah.
9.
There's no way.
Number
bro.
9.
Okay, so for whoever's watching this out here, who voted for that? First of all, you're grounded. Second of all, use 2 thunder
Atrax
crashes and the boss health
Sits
gates.
at number 9. Number 9.
Holy
I
shit,
cannot
mother-
wait for you guys to see number 1, bro. I'm gonna fucking
right.
die. Oh god. All right, Luke. No, Luke
It's
just gave us
above,
one.
it's
So
above.
Mr. Above, give us your next guess.
Does this include sunset content?
Yes, I mean, everything in Destiny 2. Like think of any boss.
Galron.
Galron. It's number 6. Galron sits at number 6. That's a good guess. That's a good run. That's like, in my opinion, that should be like top 5 in my opinion.
I think so too.
I will say Galron save. Okay, you're missing 1 through 3, 7, 8, and 10.
Okay.
I think we're missing 1
Luke.
through 4.
Oh
no, Riven.
No, Riven's 4.
Okay.
This is just for the memes, but Septic Prime. Is that a name? Septic Prime.
Sepix?
The Sepix Prime. I'm scrolling.
I figure. I just wanted to
If
see
that's
how
on the
casual.
list, that's crazy, bro.
That's what I
No,
wanted.
it
That
is
was a
not
test.
in the top 10. It is
All right,
not.
that was a test. That was a test.
Oh,
I got another one after. Oh wait, no, just kidding. That's.
I
D1.
don't remember what is the name of the boss. It's the Spire of Stars boss. I don't remember his name.
no, I'm still looking for Sepix Prime. Sepix Prime is like it's 38th out of 42.
Good.
I do want to preface, by the way, Galron is not correct. It is the second. It is like the Galron before Galron.
Galron's Deception.
Deception, yeah. So let me just. So they think that the final boss is not even harder than the other one. Galron itself actually sits at number 27.
This is a cheeseburger McDouble list, dude. I don't know what's going on.
Hilarious. So
All
yeah,
right,
Galron's Deception is number 6. I heard you say you said one more. I'm sorry, I missed yours.
I don't remember the Spire of Stars boss's name.
Oh yeah, whatever that one is.
I can't remember his name.
It sits at number 3. Valkaur.
Valkaur. Yeah.
Number 3. That is that is a. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
That one deserves to be up there. People actually had to like.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Stuff.
That one's tough. Valkaur sits at number 3. So, but yeah, Galron's Deception. I saw Galron. I thought I saw the wrong thing, but I kept scrolling. I saw actual Galron is like in the 27th or something like that. Okay, so missing 1, 2, and 7, 8, and 10 is where we're missing. So
I have 2. I think
back to you, Luke. Where are we at?
Let's say, just because I feel like people didn't play this raid, but the boss at the end of Eater of Worlds.
No way, bro.
That's number 10. Number 10 is Argos.
I knew it.
Number 10 is Argos, bro. Good fucking guess, man. Good fucking guess.
He's gone. He left the podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Oh my god, Argos.
There's just no way, bro.
I agree.
I agree.
There's no way. Okay, well then I have confidence in this one, which means it won't be on the list. Sanctified Mind, final boss of Garden.
Sanctified Mind is number 2. Good guess. No, that's a good one.
Dang, number 2.
I'm curious where they like. Oh my god, I guess spelled sanctified right. I'm curious what like I'm curious if this is like day 1 difficulty like added into it as well too. If people are.
I have a good one actually. How old is this list? When was this made?
September 1st of this year, actually. It makes sense because there's
very recent.
Everything is updated. Yeah,
I have a surefire one. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, all right, Mr. Luke, we're on to you. Where are we at? We're missing. We're missing just 3, 1, 7, and 8.
I'm just gonna say another one that isn't hard, but I mean maybe it's hard to someone else. Oryx.
I think it's the other boss. I think it's War Priest.
That is tough.
Especially day 1 War Priest left.
Oryx is not on the list.
I figured.
Oryx sits outside of the top 20. I'm still scrolling.
I was gonna say Golgoroth or War Priest, but I went with Oryx.
I think War Priest would be the hardest of those.
Oryx is not on the list.
Just not even a boss. Doesn't count.
Bro forgot.
Too big to be a boss.
This is not. Oryx is not even in here. So,
are the other bosses from King's Fall? Because maybe they're not included. Okay.
Yeah, I see other bosses. I don't see anything from newest Crota. Just so you know. So don't think.
I didn't think any
Crota,
of them.
But I do not see Oryx in here. But I see all the other. No, I don't. No, Oryx is not in here. Excuse me. King's Fall is not in here.
Okay.
King's Fall's not. Okay.
Oh man, that was gonna be my next guess. Actually, was War Priest. Let me think about this.
I got another one then.
I would say I don't see. My issue is I don't know like what percentage of the player base like plays GMs. Because I think the Fnatic would have been like 100% one of the hardest ones from the GM that was around with him.
Oh, from Hollowed Lair.
From Hollowed Lair,
bro.
Dude, people struggled with that boss.
I'm counting that as your guess, and it is not in the top 10, but it's close. It's 13th. It's in at 13.
I had a feeling because it was only around for one season. I had a feeling it wasn't going to be on the list.
Yeah. I did not notice that King's Fall or Crota was not in here. That sucks because I feel like Oryx would have definitely been on the list. Let's honorable mention Crota here, or not Crota, Oryx, because I feel like that would be.
I feel like War Priest gives teams a lot more issues than Crota does, or than
I agree.
Oryx does.
It always did. It did in D1
Because
too.
you have to,
Mm.
you're required to move and like rotate players,
Yeah.
and that always causes issues.
I want to give you guys a quick little funny. Number 11 is the root mine, Dendron, the big
Nuh-uh.
Hydra, on like the rotating garden world. That sits at number 11, by the way. I just want to.
Okay, yeah, actually though, the
a
people that
pain in the
remember the
balls for a
original
GM.
Grandmaster, that was the hardest GM to exist in Destiny.
You had
2.
to literally melt that boss, so
That was
you
so
really didn't
hard,
have much
bro.
of a chance.
That was so
you were
hard.
Yeah.
you got
I
cooked.
just haven't seen that boss in a long time, and I just saw that. And number 12 is Brachion. I just want to those two. I just like. I really love those strikes. So I just wanted to point that out there. So those are right outside of the top 10. With Argos
Okay.
sitting at 10. Which I feel like Argos wouldn't be in there if this did consist of Crota and or
King's Fall.
King's Fall.
Okay, so
All right, back to you.
Is
Who's next?
is it Luke's turn? I think.
Sure.
I thought I guessed Oryx, and then we had
No, he
this whole
guessed
problem.
Fnatic. He guessed the Fnatic.
Oh.
He guessed the Fnatic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with Callus.
Callus is number 7.
There's
Yeah.
no fucking
I
way.
actually did not think y'all were gonna get that one. I did not think you guys were gonna get Callus, and it's like the Leviathan Callus. It's not
Oh,
like
I know.
the.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
It's not like the
Leviathan
Lightfall
Callus.
Callus. Leviathan Callus.
Wait, what?
The
It's the raid Callus?
The raid
Nah,
Callus.
nah.
It's at number 7. You guys are missing number
It's
1.
not that, dude. Okay, if it was the campaign, I'd be like,
Number
all
1
right,
and number 8.
I get it. There's no way.
It's the
Seeking and
Leviathan.
dude, nah. That's
Oh goodness. I do not think you're gonna get number 8. I would be very surprised if you guys get number 8. We might be here a bit. If it goes on a little long, I'll give it to you. But
that's fucking.
you're missing
wild, bro.
number 1 and number 8.
I would say just because people like to sit in a well, I would say Rolk would have to be.
Rolk is
on the
number
list.
1. Good guess.
Okay,
Rolk
Rolk
is
number
number
one.
1.
Chat was saying
hardest
Rolk
boss.
a bunch.
For the were they really for the record? I completely disagree with that.
I agree.
Really?
Too. I
Okay.
think Rolk's easy.
I think multiple GM bosses would be at the top of the list, 100%.
Same,
Okay.
dude. I
Okay.
would put like all GM bosses, bro. GMs are not no joke.
Like easily, Fnatic would be up there. The Mars Battleground boss would be up there.
Oh yeah.
Sadia, in my opinion, for sure. Like
Yeah, I'm
that final
surprised-
boss room.
Someone mentioned Caretaker. I'm surprised Caretaker wasn't in here because that was a pain in the balls. Like
On day one, he's kind of a pushover now, though.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. But yeah, Rolk sits at number 1 based off the community ranking. Rolk as the hardest Destiny boss. So
What was the date of this? I'm just curious. Like, what was the
it
date
says
of list?
updated on September 1st of this year, but it looks like maybe just the new like maybe they just updated the rankings and not the actual like consisting of the bosses. Because I don't see anything
Interesting.
from Crota's or from King's Fall.
Okay.
So number 8 is all we have left.
Number 8 is the only one you are missing. Yeah.
Let's see here. And like story bosses and stuff can be in this.
Seems like it, yeah.
Trying to think what we don't have. I mean, it could be something from Vogue.
Og does not seem to be in here either.
Okay.
I
So
think it
it's
seems
no
like this
reprise.
is from Witch Queen, then. Maybe.
That's what Chad's saying, yeah.
It seems kind of old.
I thought this was more updated than this. My fault.
I mean, it's still interesting to look at, but
yeah. I see it now. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we're missing number 8. Where are we at?
Dude, I'm gonna guess Savathun, the final
I was gonna
mission.
say that too.
Avtun is not on the list.
Dang,
No,
that's a hard
I
one.
do not
That
see
mission's
Avtun in the
actually hard.
top 10. That's a good one though. There's a lot of ones on here that are like really far down, and I'm like, wow, because I just don't agree.
Do we want to do hints so we don't go on too long?
So
is it
this is a raid
is
boss.
it in a raid boss?
This
Okay.
is a raid boss, but it's not a final raid boss. Let me just throw that out there. That's the only hint I can really give you because I feel like that kind of gives it away.
Don't think it's that. See, and I'm trying to think. Okay, so it doesn't include Vogue, King's Fall, or is there another raid that's not in the game yet? That was Sunset. Oh wait, You said it's not a final boss. Fuck, dude.
I just want to throw out real quick. Rating at number 39th is the Proving Grounds boss. Out of 42.
Yeah, but Callus is 7 though, you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Scourge, but I don't think it is because it's not the final.
That's a very good guess because the Sparrow racing boss sits at 18th.
That counts as a boss.
It does because it's the stop looking at me like that. It's the big servitor chasing after you. So they counted that as a boss.
That's stupid.
Blazed Glory is what it's called. It's at 18th.
I need a drink after this, dude.
And it's not a final raid boss, so Tanix is at 14th.
There's no way that that's even real either, dude. Tanix is not the 14th hardest boss.
I love this.
Is it Consecrated Mind?
It is. It is the Consecrated Mind.
It's like the only one left. Yeah.
From Garden. It is the Consecrated Mind. That is the Harpy from Garden.
That one is hard. That was hard.
That's your top 10 hardest Destiny 2 bosses.
That no one condones. This list is cursed. I disagree.
No, love it. That's hilarious, dude.
This list is cursed.
I definitely want to do this again with the other stuff.
Yeah,
but maybe find more of an updated list.
That's a really cool idea though. I do
it's
like
cool
that.
to see when I was saying earlier in the podcast about how we are not like the typical people that probably play this game. This list is the typical people that play this game.
Callus is wild. I'm personally offended by that.
Okay, so what would you put? Give me like your quick top 3, like very quick top 3 hardest bosses in the game.
Valkor for sure.
Yeah, that's a tough fucking encounter, dude.
Valkor, Galron. If we're talking raid bosses, Valkor, Galron.
It's got to be legit Riven, right? I mean, you have to have that in the top
legit 3. Riven 100% would be 1 most likely, or 2. Honestly, I feel like War Priest is an underrated encounter in terms of difficulty. I don't think it'd be near the top, but I think it'd be on the list if you were doing just raid bosses, because I think people struggle with like communicating timing, having to go off, kill a knight, come back in time, switch buff, like extend. You're not just sitting still like your whole team. You have like 4 to 5 people actually doing something and communicating. And the damage check, dude, that day 1 challenge was like unbelievably brutal. I know that's one that stuck with me.
Oh yeah.
But then it'd be pretty much like GM bosses, and then honestly Callus from the campaign, and maybe Savathun would sneak in. Callus I thought was harder than Savathun.
We're going with heroic Callus, right? Like not like
like the heroic version of Callus was actually kind of painful.
Yeah. Cool. I like that. That was a fun thing. I saw that. I was like, dude, I wonder if there's anything Destiny related on there. And I was happy to see that. So, and then I had to do bosses because, of course, being a PvE guy, we had to. So. All right, real quick. We have about 20 minutes left of our, time slot here that we'd like to have, about an hour and a half or so. 10:30 is where we kind of cut off. So, real quick, hot take of the week. We touched on this very slightly earlier, and we have limited time to talk about it. But I want to say this. This is my hot take of the week. And it is simply that crafting in Destiny 2 is ruining the grind, the loot, and the incentive to play this video game. That is my 100% hot take. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. But in my opinion...
Then why are we going to talk about it?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's like, I will die on that hill type deal. Like, the fact that we can put limited amount of time on this video game and get every perfect role that we want, no matter what, as long as you put in an hour in the video game every single day, and then whether in a couple weeks you're gonna have the god roll, almost guaranteed, and everybody's gonna have the god roll guaranteed. You look at everybody, you load into trials, and you see that someone has a Austringer, you know exactly what role they have on their Austringer. If you go in and you see a beloved, you know exactly what role they have on their beloved, and it's just frustrating. It's really back in Destiny 1, I got on every single week because I'd yet to get that God roll Hung Jury. I'd yet to get that God roll Lord High Fixer. Like that was something I was going back for in the day. Two of the Morgue, Matador, Party Crasher. I'd play Crucible all day long trying to get a God roll party crasher or something like that, because I knew if
Yeah.
when I did, and when one of them dropped, I was like, oh my God, did I get it? Did I finally get it? Did I finally get it? Or waiting for that Suros regime or Galahorn to drop because the RNG was so low. Like now you can craft exotic perks on bullshit. Like there is literally like bait and switch. That should be a exotic perk in my opinion, with how absolutely busted it is. Back in the day, like auto loading holster used to be only on Kingsfall weapons with Cocoon. Like that wasn't a thing back then. I just feel like,
Yeah.
in general, like I said, I'll just preface here that crafting itself is just ruining it. And that's coming from someone that just wants to have, something to chase. And yeah, can you chase red borders? Are red borders still RNG based? Yes, but you're going to eventually get them. You get a guaranteed one per week, and every single freaking seasonal thing that comes out, you finish a raid, you're going to get a red border. If you want one thing, it takes you 5 weeks to get it, like guaranteed, no matter what. So,
Maddox, can I hit you with a hotter take?
sure.
I think your take is room temperature.
Oh, okay.
I think
You
it's
think it's
actually
really-
more. I think it's a more common
Your take
sentiment than
sucks.
you think it is. I think it's. I think you're absolutely right. I just think more people agree with you.
And
than
I think
you
it's becoming
so.
more of a lukewarm take the longer it goes on as well, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, was crafting fantastic when it first came out? Yes, because now we can finally get, I can finally get this God roll. But now I'm like, I just have too much. And the whole power creep thing as well, too. Like, they can't add anything better than what I already have. Like,
Oh, they can, but then it just becomes so trivial. Like,
Exactly,
we're
yeah.
so powerful. I think for me, like, so I think they've done some cool things with like focusing and things like that. Like, I think common drops from GMs for exotics is great.
Mhm.
I think being able to farm lost sectors for like new exotics you don't have is fine. I'm kind of mixed on that even. But like, I think having a path to acquire like exotic armor is good. Like I think that stuff's fine. When you start getting into weapons and random rolls, that any specific weapon is not required to beat any boss in this game. So then when you're handing out like the perfect 5 out of 5 god roll that completely erases the need to farm any sort of like rating counter for a weapon on
Mhm.
something you really, really want. In my opinion, in a looter shooter is really bad for the game's health because I feel like crafting was invented to be kind of like an RNG how do I say it? Like it was meant to be like an RNG protection, but it became just like the RNG solution. It's just like the end all be all of everything. You collect your 5 borders, you're done with that activity forever. You have your perfect 5 out of 5 god rolled, no questions asked. I feel like what crafting should be, or like the way they approach the game should be more like the more rank ups you play, similar to how they do Crucible, to be honest. Like when you rank up in Crucible and you start getting like 2-3 perks like per column, it heavily increases your odds of getting the roll that you want. Like even that, I
love
think
that.
like
I don't collect any engrams until I've had a couple resets.
and even going into like the 3 perks per column, I'm like, all right, we're kind of getting a little like generous at that point. But I mean, at that point, you've also put in a lot of hours. So I think it's fair to say like, hey, you put in a lot of hours this season. We're rewarding you by getting 3 perks per column to narrow down and focus like or have really high odds of getting the god roll that you want. I think that's what crafting like, or I guess like that RNG mitigation should have been, is like if you put the time in, you're going to be rewarded with some sort of factor that prevents you from getting like unbelievably unlucky over and over and over and over and over again. You could put 1 billion hours and never get the weapon you want. I don't think that's what anybody's asking for. It's just, I don't think anybody's either is asking for, oh, I'm going to run 5 weeks of this raid and I'm guaranteed the perfect 5 out of 5 god roll, never need to touch the encounter again. I don't think that's healthy for a looter shooter.
Absolutely
so like,
not.
I think it needs to be more focused on that. Like when I grind, and I play a game mode that I'm passionate about, if say I go and I reset my Grandmaster rank 2-3 times, that starts to add stakes to you actually ranking up that vendor. And it encourages you to go and play normal strikes or Grandmasters or like grind stuff even after you have Conquer, because now say there's like a rocket that comes out that has like crazy good perks, but it's a big perk pool. Now when I rank up 2 to 3 times, I can get those 2 to 3 options in the perk slot and increase my odds of getting that god roll. Not okay, I'm gonna go again like run an activity 5 times and all of a sudden I have the perfect weapon that I never need to farm for again. So I think crafting, if you're gonna do it, could be on like open world loot or something like that. That's like unbelievably hard to obtain. And if you
Yeah.
happen to get red borders for that, that's fine. I also, maybe controversial opinion, I don't think enhanced perks should be on a
I was gonna say this.
I don't
Oh.
they should not be on base red border craftable weapons. They should only be on adepts. And
I was gonna say that they're pointless. I think enhanced perks are fucking pointless.
so here's the thing, like there's some of them that have some benefits, right? Like enhanced auto loading holster, like whatever it is. Like and I'm cool with there being like minimal gains, but right now, like, what is the point of an adept weapon? So I can put enhanced big ones on and deal the same, like it's the same perk that's major and boss spec. It's the same amount of damage, which people confuse this all the time. It just allows you to have flexibility between damaging a boss and damaging a major. That's it. That's all it does for you, which is like such a minimal thing. Like no one actually cares about that because I'm not using, I don't know. It's just there's so many little things where I'm like, that vision of like stepping up in content difficulty and being rewarded for that doesn't exist because often people craft the normal weapon from the standard version of a raid, and then the adepts, by the time they come out, are completely worthless. People don't give a shit about them because there's no reason to go. You already have your 5 out of 5 god roll from the standard raid. So if they then put enhanced perks on that, yeah, you might be wasting your time the first couple weeks before the master version drops, but the people that want to chase that can go chase that extra level, right? The people that don't or don't have the capability or the want to go farm that extra little min-maxing bit don't have to. They have the normal raid that they can farm for those weapons. So I just feel like they're missing the master side of the game, and like that next step up in difficulty is like so like misrepresented in terms of loot right now that like most people either A, don't give a shit about the GM weapons because they're usually horrendous, like they're not even relevant, or B, the adepts are just completely useless from raids. So
I don't have a single adept weapon from a raid. Like not a single one.
I have almost all of them, and I've used none of them. If that means anything to you.
So Luke, you had a differing opinion on this. I want to hear before we have to kind of slow down a little bit here.
No one's gonna agree with my opinion on this because based off what you guys have said. And I'm open-minded to this because I don't really care that much because I'm kind of in this weird, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, I'm in a weird state of gaming life. Yep. So like I'm not in there as much as I can be. I'm in there when I can get in there to get my freaking seals done. That's what I play this stupid game for. But that crafting was actually really good for a player like me in the time, in this section of time where I don't want to go grind for something for 50,000 hours to get a god roll to drop. Like I do remember that feeling being nice, but I've never been that kind of player, even in D1. Like I did get excited when like I got Gallahorn or this or that, but half the time, bro, I don't even know what rolls mean. Like it's surprising that I'm on a Destiny podcast and I literally have to ask my friends constantly, like, yo, is this good? Like, I don't even know. Like, I can't keep up with it because there's so many perks that combine, and like I'm not playing this as much as you guys. So it's like I kind of like I've always really liked crafting because I know if I get my 5 things, then somebody can tell me what the god roll is on it, and then I can just have that. And I don't even go for all of them because I don't want all of them. If it's like, hey, there's a good hand cannon that you can craft to be a great PvP weapon, I'll craft it and try it out. But in general, I haven't had like a huge problem with it because it gets me into the thing to get my 5 red borders, and then I wasn't going to go play the thing again anyways. So it does kind of make it so replayability goes away, but it also gets me to come back to play, if that makes sense. And I don't even have all the crafted weapons. I just have like specific ones I wanted, like Forbearance or like whatever is hot. If there's an above video out that says something's good, I'm going to go get that, But for a player who is a veteran, used to play a lot more, has a little baby and is very busy all the time, trying to stay like up with everybody else, it's been fine for me personally. Now I can see all the arguments for why. Like I'm with you guys. Like I agree, it does take away a lot of what Destiny was as a looter shooter. Like if we're talking, this is a looter shooter. There needs to be loot after you shoot, right? Like if
Yeah.
that loot doesn't matter after shoot, then what's the point? And I'm kind of in a different state too. I'm more of just like a completionist at this point. I've just been here playing Destiny forever. At the beginning, it was a lot different. Now it's like it's kind of like a job. Like I got all the crap done already, so I'm gonna just keep doing the crap that I like need to get done. That's not even that much fun, but it shows that I play the stupid game a lot. So that's
Luke,
that's
can
my
I ask you a question?
yeah.
I totally get your perspective, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I 100% get where they're going with crafting and like the more casual side of the game. I guess my counter argument would be like, if we're that casual with it, why do you care? And you don't track like what roles you have or whatever. Like, why do you care about having the min max perks then? Like, because what if you just have like a pretty decent roll of the weapon? Does it have to be
I want whatever's
perfect in
meta.
that scenario?
So I live in the like I
He's a
want
meta
what
whore.
I want what all the big boys have and whatever works the best. I want the most efficient weapon that is going
See,
to
and
get
that's where I feel like there's like this, and I'm not saying like players don't deserve that, but I feel like there's like that's where we get trapped in this like thing that's really unhealthy for looter shooters is like we expect those things and we want that to be like easily obtainable is like I want the best weapon, I want what's meta, but like then you don't put the time in, and I think that's what hurts the looter shooter so much. Like,
Well,
see what
here's
you're
the thing
saying.
for
then
I will
it's the casual audience that keeps the game alive, and I realize that. And
I will grind for the thing. Like if there's a thing that's going to take me weeks and weeks and weeks to get the best, I don't want to hand it to me. Like don't get me wrong. Like I
yeah,
don't want like just meta to be handed to me. Like when I got
yeah,
Recluse, it took me a while. It was hard to get that. Like and I liked that feeling. But and that's definitely not here with this unless you literally don't have time to play and like you're just getting lucky getting red borders and it
right.
takes like say instead of it taking 5 weeks because you didn't play all 5 weeks, it takes like 10 weeks and then you get it. And then that's like grinding something for 10 weeks, quote unquote. But I agree with you. I don't think that it is something that should just be given to people, which it looks like it is based off what you guys are saying. And I'm with you. Like that's why this hot take's weird. At first I thought I had a different opinion. And then you guys talked about it, and I was like, I don't really actually think I care that much about. I mean, I think
and again, like I totally get where you're coming from. I get why they do it, and like and all those things. I think the issue has been exacerbated more so recently. Like every week when you log in for seasonal activity, guaranteed red border. Upgrade your thing, like even a little bit, another guaranteed red border. Pretty soon, like 2-3 weeks max, maybe even a day. Plus, you're getting red borders drop from the activity. You have like increased drop percent chance of red borders. You've like,
Oh, you
I
get
mean,
a lot
like
more than you used to as well.
you're starting to get them just like thrown at you. And so if you play for like even a few hours, I mean, the likelihood of like even the seasonal activity, I mean, you're crafting weapon. Like I know someone in my chat that had him crafted in like 6 hours, like that, or something like that. Like, it was crazy. He was like, I'm done. Well, done with the season. And obviously that's not everybody, but like, I want it to be like a huge RNG mitigator, and I feel like they've changed, like which would help, dads like yourself or like people who have more limited time than I do. Like obviously I play this game for a living. Like I have way more time to dedicate to getting those like 5 out of 5s. I just feel like it's become such a like just case in point ultimate, like you have the perfect weapon, you're done grinding for it forever. And I feel like it needs to move more towards like there needs to be a middle ground of like, yeah, you can have a really great weapon that you can use, but like it's that min-maxing side of it that I think is missing so much from like the current loot chase. And I feel like crafting takes away from that. So I don't think it needs to be like one way or the other where it's like completely removed or, like it has to stay 100%. I feel like it just needs to be adjusted somehow and balanced better.
I agree. I had a thought earlier when we were talking about it where maybe it's like the crafted weapons have a specific set. I mean, like say get rid of enhanced perks, have it be a specific set of perks, but then have a completely separate weapon that's like the same weapon be able to drop randomly with a completely different set of perks.
Agree majorly, like huge.
So you can either get a god roll of this kind or you can go do the
Luke
5.
is cooking here, boys. Careful.
I like that a lot.
That's
Especially adepts. If they do that on adepts, like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, for example, if adept weapons were the only ones that could get, like, bait and switch, but on the other ones, you could get explosive lights. Like, oh, I still have a great damage perk. I just don't have, like, Or like say you could get auto loading, but then maybe the adept version can get envious, and those higher skill players can take advantage of these crazy combos that you can use to maximize damage. Like, I think that's a really good idea. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you on adepts too. Literally whatever they can do to make them. It's supposed to be the hardest activity to do. So like there should be something a little bit better out in those weapons.
I mean this with no disrespect to like the devs, but I feel like the implementation of adepts right now is very lazy and very minimal.
I can totally agree.
And it's like they're right now they're sitting on the absolute bare minimum of effort that they put them into the game, but they have zero plan around them. There's no like they serve no purpose in the game really. Like they're no different from a normal weapon. Like I saw a meme the other day. It was literally like the two Spider-Men like pointing at each other, being like, it's me. Like, and it's just like, you know, a normal palindrome and an adept palindrome. Like it's like exactly the same thing. People just like to have the adept next to it. But yeah, anyway, I've been talking too much.
No, you haven't. That's why we have you here, because we like what you have to say. We think it's fun to hear.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, I don't have any other questions, and I think I've spoken a little bit too much as well too. So, is there anything else, Luke, that you have
on this topic? No,
just overall.
Oh, hey guys, my name is Bearded Luke, and I love you. Nah, dude, Destiny is fun, and we like playing it enough to make a podcast that we talk for an hour and 40 minutes about. So apparently, there's something still there.
No matter how like negative we may sound or how criticizing we are, and we all of course still love the game and we still play it. Luke, I mean, we have Above over here that does it for a living. So obviously we're here to discuss, you know, the potential and, you know, all events in the Destiny world and all that good stuff. So Mr. Above, one last time, let us know who you are, where we can find you, and are you working on anything? Do you have anything planned coming up that you want to share? Or
you got any secrets you want to tell us on the internet?
We do have a video coming out soon. It was a video that was really popular when Lightfall dropped, but similar to the exotics, we're doing an updated subclass tier list. So for people who like maybe aren't super in tune with the meta, or you know, they're just interested in seeing like I guess like my perspective on kind of where endgame PvE is right now. We're doing an updated list because there's been a ton of buffs and nerfs to different subclasses. Like Banner of War came out this season. Strand Titan's just like unbelievably crazy good. You know, Arc Warlock, which, like, spoiler for the video, was my lowest rated class in my previous tier list, and it's jumped up like near the top now. I think it's absolutely insane. So we're doing an upgraded or an updated tier list for that coming up in the next day or so. So keep an eye out for that. You can check that at Above Destiny on YouTube. I stream at twitch.tv/above like 5 days a week. And you can follow me on Twitter at Above TP, or on X. Sorry.
X.
But yeah. The one thing, I guess, like parting note really quick.
Yeah, I would say, question whenever you're done.
Sure. I was gonna say, despite all the feedback we have, I genuinely, I said this at the beginning, but I really do feel like this is one of the best seasons Destiny's had in a long time. And I think that the PvP strike force that they put into place is actually like starting to like show some benefits. I know it's not everything we want to see yet, but the fact that, you know, there's a really popular new game mode, and it seems like they're doing some sandbox balancing and tuning and things like that. And there was a new map this season as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not sure how popular that is, but I don't know. It seems like they've hit the nail on the head for this season, at least. Obviously, we're only halfway through, but for me, is by far the best in a while. So I just want to commend.
I mean, you got to give praise where it's you know.
Yeah.
What's the freaking word?
Whatever the saying is, I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to give praise where
it's deserved. There you go.
Praise
That's what I'm trying to
the
say.
Lord's.
Yeah, you have to give praise to the Lord, right? Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. No, and I mean, I will semi-agree with this as well too. You know, we had good seasonal content. We have good seasonal story missions and stuff like that compared to what recent seasons have had. So
I thought the Crota revamp was great also.
Oh,
same.
yeah.
We love Crota revamp.
We talked about that a lot in this past couple episodes.
Crota revamp's good.
We totally agree. So we're right there with you. We agree. We give Bungie a little pat on the back for what they've done
Good job.
recently.
You did
so,
something.
Yeah. Now
Did you
their
just hit
servers
the Partner Plus, by the way? Did I see
What's
that
up?
on Did I see that on Twitter that you hit the new Partner Plus?
We did. We did.
Awesome.
Congratulations,
Congrats.
bro. That's a huge
Thank you,
feat,
man.
That's not easy.
It was shout out to my community, dude, because I was just transparent with them. Like, dude, I feel like Twitch put us in this awkward position of like,
Oh yes, sell your soul.
I mean, it sucks, right? Like,
Yeah.
A 50-50 split is borderline. I mean, it's almost predatory on behalf of like Twitch, like on their creators who drive the platform. The industry standard everywhere else is at least 70-30. The fact that streamers are put into this position to like ask their communities to try and hit those goals is kind of wild. With that said, like I was very transparent and open with my community back in June, and I was like, listen, guys, next 3 months, I know a lot of you guys prime sub, like if you consider you enjoy the community enough, like consider it. If not, it's not meant to be. And they came through, and it just insane support. And I can't thank them enough because it really is like a life-changing difference. Like,
yeah, dude, it's awesome.
People think like
it's like getting a 20% raise at any job you work at. Yeah, that's fantastic.
For the streamer, it equates to a 40% increase in revenue from subs. It's insane. Awesome. So, yeah, shout out to them. And it's just a big thing, especially this year. Cause like I've shared this with chat, but we've had things with like my dog's health and my wife being between jobs and things. So it's big.
If there's anybody deserving of it, I think
absolutely.
I think I speak for everybody saying that you're very deserving of it. So congrats again.
Bro. I'm sad that they made the thing where you had to work even harder to get the thing you already should have, but it's cool that you could prove that your audience and your community is that supportive, that they're willing.
It's pretty wild, man. Like I thank them every day. Don't take it for granted a single day.
Oh yeah, we know you don't. That's why you're where you're at, dude. We were talking about this before you got on here about how genuine you are and how good you are at this, where you don't have to fake it. Like you just are good at what you're doing.
Oh,
so
thanks,
that's
man.
why you're successful.
It's I appreciate that. I feel like the funny thing is, as a creator, and I'm sure you guys have felt the same way, there's days where you feel like you're winning, and there's a lot of days where you feel like you're not, and you are messing up here, there, and the other. And it doesn't change no matter how big you get. Whether I talk to, someone with 5 viewers, or I talk to Clyde or someone else, the people you look up to, they're all going through those same mental hurdles, trying to figure out what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, and when videos don't work. So like if you guys are aspiring creators or whatever, hard work and consistency, I swear to God, will get you so far. Like, because most people give up before they ever even could potentially make it. They'll be like, oh, put in my 2 months, it didn't work out, it's just not meant for me. It ain't like that. A lot of it's just persistence and constantly thinking about ways to evolve what you're doing. And if something's not working, like self-reflecting a lot is something I did and continue to do like all the time. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people can do this. I think it's also, on the flip side, much harder than anyone will ever give it credit for. And for those of you who have streamed for even 2 weeks and put in some time into it, the amount of like mental dedication it takes to click that button every single day and like be there for people who rely on you. Like, cause I mean, at the end of the day, those communities, they look to you for an outlet, and making sure you're there and like in the state and being your best self, I think is super important. So
I couldn't have said it better myself. So good shit.
That's awesome, dude. I can't wait till we get to see you again one day. Are you going to go to GCX next year? Did you see the dates got announced?
I will be. They need to stop doing it in June though, man.
It's in August.
Or no, in August. I mean, in August. It's too damn hot in Florida in August.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be any better in June or July.
Nah, they need to do it like
hit a February trip, man. Where are we at?
Bro, for real.
Hey, this time stay at the hotel. All right.
Yeah, please. We only got to see you for like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro. See, I called up Maddox. I was like, yo, you want to come hang out? He was like, nah.
That is a horseshit ass lie.
I
Don't
was
even
there.
lie like that on live television.
We no, I love the Airbnb thing. That's it, but I definitely
then
need to
we'll
be
have
at
to come
the
visit
hotel
this
more.
Yeah,
time.
invite us then. We'll be there.
Yeah,
Got you.
actually call me up instead of lying
That's
about
crazy, bro. That's crazy. No,
Whatever.
we will for sure.
it.
Heck yeah,
my
bro. All
God.
right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, listening,
Absolutely.
whatever. This was such a fun episode. Above, thank you for joining us. If you're watching, listening, follow us on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. I don't know what our name is in all of them, so just find
The
us.
Destiny Nerds. The only thing that's different is our YouTube. But if you search up the Destiny Nerds anywhere, you will find us.
Yes. Go
So-
follow us. We love what we're doing here. We're pumped. We're getting closer to that episode 50. We just have a lot. We have a lot, and we have a lot planned. Kind
You
of.
guys had a great
cool-
show, man. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me on.
Dude,
We
of
appreciate
course.
you joining.
This won't be your last time. You got to get on here for a fourth time. That'll be the
All
next
right.
one.
That
All
sounds
right.
good to me.
Just speaking to those guys that are in chat and mainly Above's community, these are the people that we love to stream to, that we love to talk to. So if you guys enjoyed what you saw today, if you guys enjoyed what you're listening to, then please don't hesitate to hit the follow button. Don't hesitate to find us on all of our socials.
Yeah, go to our
and-
YouTube and sub and like and comment
Yes.
everything.
We're just trying to be people that, like Above was talking about, folks that can come here and relax and hang out, talk about a game we all love for a couple hours.
Yep.
And do it with some guests that you may not have met before, and see if you can find some people that you can continue to look up to, like Above. So like I said, if you're listening, don't hesitate to follow, don't hesitate to check out anything that we do on our socials, especially TikTok. We're really putting a lot of effort into putting out our clips, and they're getting a lot of interaction. So we appreciate you guys for everything that you do. So thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
what did I? What is that I saw? Did I say Luke and Maddox on GMG win?
Oh, bro, I want in. I
we
said
at?
last time I wanted in, and then I forgot.
If you guys
to
want in
reach
later
out.
this season, you're on.
I'm
Call
in.
me up.
I just tell me when it is, and I'll make sure
Okay.
I'm free.
All right. It's set. It's settled.
The Destiny
Yes.
Nerds GMG.
Yes,
All right.
that's gonna be hot.
We're there.
We got it. Let's go, dude. Well, thank you guys again.
Thank you. Mr. Luke.
everybody. Thanks for listening. That was episode 46. We'll see you next time. Adios.